One of the biggest issues in image generation is, of course, mutated hands, duplicate fingers, and of course, duplicate limbs. This is still to this day the most searched problem in all of AI art generation. The most common thing in comments, the most common thing on Reddit when people are having problems, these various distortions. Funny thing is they're kind of a problem of the past. And honestly, it's kind of unfortunate because a lot of people have actually probably stopped doing AI art or have seen it and thought, it's not worth it because it's such a problem, but it's something that can be solved in literally 30 seconds. And I'll show you how to do that today in a fantastic program that is entirely free, entirely open source, and holds all of the things that we use called Krita AI. It can be literally done really, really quickly, and honestly is a feature that you might see and think, oh, I actually want to mess with everything else that could possibly encompass, which is I'm talking about the live paint feature, which is fantastic in many different ways. Alas. But before we get too into it, some people might be saying, well, didn't you already make this video? Yes. For those guys who didn't see it, I made a video a couple days ago where basically I was showing guys how to fix every single distortion. The issue is that I tend to overkill things quite a bit. So that video basically in the thumbnail showed a person with a lopsided nose, face, all that stuff being made pretty. But if the most commonly searched problem is hands, I wanted to basically segment those problems in their own separate video and kind of beat this horse until it's fucking dead, because it's a problem that doesn't need to exist anymore at all. For like 80% of everything, every model that you use can be fixed with this. So before we get too into the weeds, why is this happening? Why am I getting all these mutated, fingers, hands, like duplicate items, things like that? One, it's because the AI basically is using patterns to discern everything and to make up everything. And it also uses something called pixel density. So like the amount of pixels that it has to work with to basically reform those patterns. Hence why if you go up to a certain resolution, you tend to get significantly more problems because all the patterns are now off by a lot. So it segments things in blocks, and that's why you have like two arms growing off of each other, because it's basically you've extended the scope of what the model is good at. Again, it's better to like understand the parameters. Like most models are like this, so you build an image, build an image, but you basically like segment it in that way. Anyways, the point is that it's usually a problem of that. But a second thing is pixel density, meaning the resolution of your canvas. So if you have like 3 blocks to draw in, it's gonna look terrible. But if you have 1,000, now you can get way more minute and like those tiny details like muscular knuckles and veins and things like that will all be significantly improved. So those are 2 things you can do to fix it. But some people can't do that. Some people can only generate art at a certain canvas size because of their graphics card or their limitation on tokens, whatever it is, right? And also it's a really easy way to fix, because ultimately the AI is doing pattern recognition, right? So all you need to do is give it a better pattern to follow or give it context of what it's trying to inhabit. And you can do this in Krita AI really simply by using the feature that we're going to use. In the previous video, I covered all these other things. We're just going to cut to the meat and potatoes of how you solve this the fastest, best way possible. I'll do it really quick myself, and then I will go back and show you guys what's happening. So if it seems like I'm going quick, don't worry. I'll slow it down with our second pass. I just want to show people how this does need to take a long time. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, so as you can see, I generated a couple images here and they're pretty scuffed. Some of them are actually not that bad. Again, it's really hard to get the hands to break when you have a high enough resolution, which we're running right now. They look a little weird. They don't look like believable, but things like the veins and the bone structure are pretty believable, right? But a lot of things that can break them, like I said, are resolution, pattern size, but they're also running an absolute abundance of flwrz. So this is something that happened with this. It's basically trying to merge too many different art styles, and of course, a finger is missing, basically. But it's really easy to solve this. So real quick, I'm just going to do it myself, and I'm going to kind of ramble as I do it, and then we're going to go slower. All right, so we have our mutated hand here. It's really simple. We're just going to basically segment it like, okay, that needs to be changed really easy. We're going to add a paint layer, and then we're going to do this. I have all these hotkeyed. I'll explain these slower in a minute. We're going to go to live paint. We're going to use this model. I thankfully have always put the lightning fast LoRa here. I'll explain what that is in a minute. We will lower this to about 55 just so things aren't really happening too much, and then we are simply going to paint. We are just going to grab some of this, and we're going to grab this flesh pigment, and all we're doing is, I'll explain this later when we're moving a little bit slower. And now we're just going to basically build this out. We're going to hit go. That's enough context for it to start building. We're going to add some of this. It's kind of a really bright white. We'll see if the AI is able to interpret what we're painting. We could even add a little bit of that's probably too much. I don't think it needs that much context, to tell you the truth. And just like that, boom, it's fixed. And done. It's done. It's done. Now, some of you might be like, oh, but it looks different. Well, it's actually really easy to fix even that. So like, even if we didn't like it, all we'd have to do is fade that out. So then we could say, oh, you know, I liked this, Actually, I like that one more. So this is the fun thing also real quick. So as it starts to iterate, you guys can see that it will look better and better every single time it does it. It also does have some weird stuff in the background here, but we can easily patch that up by doing a second pass, which we'll do anyway. So let's say we actually like the original look a lot and we just wanted to add the finger. It's super easy to do that. All we essentially need to do, we'll lower this like that. We will basically go like this, turn off the selection, and then we will basically just erase everything that's not what we want. So we'll add a mask layer. Once again, I will slow this down absolutely, just so you guys can understand what's happening more. And boom, we just want to make sure that we don't we want to make sure we're pulling that in. And because I have it faded right now, it's just so I can see. So now when we activate it, so it's faded, it'll all come back in. Once again, now that we have everything good, we can actually decrease some of this, which is going to go to black, and we're going to erase that in. It follows that kind of theme a little bit better, right? Boom. Just like that, we fixed the hand. Took literally like less than 30 seconds. I was also trying to explain some things as I was going. If I was just locked in here, it'd be silence. Anyways, but we can do one final pass if we wanted to be really, really like professional about it and give us the best possible response. We would basically lower this down to about 40. We could do a control net just to make sure like all of the lines stay perfectly in sequence, but I don't know if it's necessary when we're running such low weight. We'll see. Is my intuition right or am I an idiot? Let's find out today, live. We'll cancel that. Let's see. Yeah, so it made it look a lot better. It also made the veins stand out a lot more. Once again, we probably could lower the weight probably to 25 and we'll probably be pretty good. Yeah, see, 20 was perfect. That gave enough context to give the AI the same sharpness within the finger, but it didn't overstep its bounds and like add like a ton more veins if you weren't like into that initial style. You know what I mean? Anyways, that was a quick fix. Now let's slow it down and I'll show you guys one more. So forgive me again. I know that may have been frustrating. I just want to show people that hey, it doesn't have to be a process. So that was all the sequence. Now slow it down and bit by bit we'll check one thing off the list. It could be believed, but this one's kind of weird. Again, it's not the worst. Again, maybe I could find a worse one, but let's just use this for now. If you wanted to see a really bad one, once again, I could just show you what we did last time. Horribly terrible, pretty bad hand, and then doing the same process we did about painting in the mess, so you guys can see this painted that out really easily. And then we just generated one with the live paint feature. It doesn't look great, but as we basically did it again and again, it got a little bit better. It looked a little more softer, and then eventually we did our final pass with a full render as this. So fantastic. That's more of a egregious result. But anyways, let's go to the actual one we just had. Boom. All right, this guy. All right, so same thing. So essentially all you are going to do, it's really, really simple. You are going to need one LoRa. It's called this. If you want to go to Civitai and type this in, you absolutely can, King. Or if you want to just go to our school community and you type in the name of this video into the search bar in the school community, it will pop up. So first thing you're gonna need is this. Now why you need this is so that you don't have to spend so much time in the live paint feature. So that's actually the main thing we're gonna spend most of our time in. So we're gonna go here to this little box. We're gonna go to live. Boom. This is the thing that we're gonna spend most of our time in. So what this essentially does is it takes context from whatever your art is, wherever you've selected, or the entire thing, and then lets you quickly iterate upon it. So it'll, instead of taking like a minute to generate one thing, it'll generate something in like 2 seconds, or maybe like 8 seconds is probably a better variant of it. And it'll basically help you like quickly get a result and see if you're actually giving the AI enough context. And because we're basically painting, or we're adding more things here, it's gonna have a much better time doing that. Also for this one, I actually did not use Troy's, I just used this one. Again, this is such a good model. Just makes everything look so much nicer, more orbitally. It's just great. I love it. Anyways, so we're on this page, we're good. Step one is really simple. We're just going to use the selection tool, which is right down here, which you followed our hotkey guide, you'll have this one, and you're just going to select the area that's a problem. You don't want to select too much of it because you don't want to change, all of these things. You just want to change this, right? Yes, but you also we want to give it enough room so that the AI has context of what the environment is around it. So if you basically got right up to its finger thing like this, it would be a problem because it wouldn't understand that there's another hand right here, So you want to give it enough context. Anyways, so then it's really simple. You're going to go here and you're going to go to this add button. You're going to go to this little drop down arrow, and then you're going to go to paint layer. Boop. Easy breezy. Then you're going to go to the brush setting. Hopefully you have it hotkeyed. If not, it's right up here. And then it's really easy. You're just going to hit control, and then you're going to grab whatever pigment is of the thing that you're going to build off of. So this is a flesh color. You could also just go to it here, but it's so easy. Just hit control and click, and now you have that color selected. It's easy. Cool. Now, sometimes you'll have weird context like this, and we could actually even get a little bit crazy. So we could say, hey, I actually don't think this is really helpful. Like the way the hand's scooping in, it's just weird. So we're just going to say, I actually don't like the way that hand is. So we're just going to use the background color right here, and we're going to paint that out, right? Then we're going to lower this down, and then we are going to click this, and then we're just going to feather in. Again, you just need some context for the AI to understand what's going on. And then we could even actually extend this outwards a little bit like this. You do not need to be a brilliant artist. You just need to have some, oh no, I didn't want to do that. We can actually go back if we want to do that. And yeah, we just need to give it some context for what's going on. And it's funny if you, well, right now, honestly, you don't want to do too much. Well, the biggest thing is you want to just do enough. So now we have some context, again, some patterns for it to recognize. Then we are going to hit this button, start. Now this is going to start generating it. Now, by the way, if you have set up this LoRa properly, you have lowered the steps exponentially. Again, we have a whole video how to set this up. Highly advise it. Anyways. Yeah, you want to have this about at 54%, so you're seeing some changes, and just like that, it's fixed, right? So this is the cool part. So we can basically add this, boom. So this one will basically merge it with the existing paint layer you did, which you don't really want, and this one will make a new layer. Always make a new layer, just so you're not destroying stuff, right? You always want it to be able to go backwards. So boom. And now, just like it's going to continue to iterate and make it better and better and better. Now, already the AI is so good that it already knows how to do knuckle structure, but in case it didn't, all you would do, what do you call it, is basically find like a shadow. So like this is a darker skin pigment, and then you would paint that in at probably a much smaller brush size, and you would fade that in to kind of give that same shadowing like effect. And you'd be surprised at the AI's understanding of like, oh, okay, I know what you're trying to do here. Same thing with the nails. If you wanted to make those more sharp, you could. And if we add this one's an even better version of it. Again, because it has more context, it's able to make all these subtleties significantly more believable. And it hasn't destroyed this one because it has context. This is a hand. And once again, this one is finished, so we could add this, boom, it's even better. So it's funny how every time it iterates, it gets better because it has more and more context to build off of. You guys can see the knuckles are more pronounced. This new one that it just made, it's even better. So every single time it keeps iterating, it just gets slightly better, slightly better, slightly better. Now, you could also show how like this can get crazy, and like you also want to keep it within the realm of reasonability. But like you could be like, hey, this is all this is this. Like let's see how much we can get away with. That might be a little bit much. It might start making a Frankenstein hand. Yeah, see, it starts getting like, the what? What? This is too much. And again, if you increased this to like 60, it would start to really be like rework a lot of things, and it might be able to interpret what that is. Yeah, see, then you start making multiple fingers. Yeah. So you don't want to do that. So there is a line where you still have to like have some baseline of like a hand doesn't look like that, you know. But anyways, my whole point is that that's how fast it can be done. Once again, if you wanted to like do a final pass, you would just jump over here. Remember to turn off. Oh, actually, the lightning step LoRa wasn't even turned on there. So yeah, sometimes the lightning is not even necessary. Depending on the PC you have, I always just like to include it because it kind of makes things fast if you are not gifted with having a really high-end GPU. But we can actually take away this, and then we can say, okay, let's render that at a really low level. Let's say 25, and then it shouldn't take anything away, but it should give us one final pass of that being absolutely gorgeous without it actually messing with anything. And this can be done with not just the hands, but anything. I'm not gonna, no, I have a problem. I gotta stop. Sorry. I have a problem with being like, and did you know you could do this? and the video completely gets dehinged. The video right now is about this specific problem, solving it. Hypothetically, you could take the card in the middle of the image right there and make it look beautiful by doing the same process of iterating, and then getting everything in the right alignment, and then doing a final pass. And like we can see here at the very bottom, this is your final pass. It looks substantially better, a little more high resolution. You can only really tell it without it, so you can zoom in. You can see that there's not a lot of detail around it. But if you use this one, boom, you can see all the weird vein, the pinkish in the knuckles, something that only a person who is a bit much would probably be able to appreciate, but hey, you gotta have high standards yourself. Anyway, I hope that was clear, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that was useful. If you possibly want a fantastic guide on everything to do with models and labels, there is a free resource that we made that's absolutely fantastic called the Label Library. We now have 3 models in it, which look fantastic. One of them is not fully completed, 2 of them are fully completed, but basically it just showcases you the labels and the effect on that labels have on using the model, how it interprets certain things, where its strong suit is, what it's kind of weak in, all of those variables entirely for free over our Stool community. It's a Google Docs. You just download it and you'll just have it forever. You can make any adjustments you want on it, and it'll be updated consistently, so long as I have time. I hope. And I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. And there's other things in our School community, and I cannot wait to showcase some of your guys' fantastic generations that some of you guys have been uploading. So alas, hopefully I can see you once again. Thank you kindly for your time, and goodbye for now, my friends.